Hello again. This is a bit of an alternative video. I haven't driven the e30 rally car since I've tested it once I changed the release bearing, but I've not given it a proper good drive. But it all seems to be okay. I'm waiting to do the rear arms, but I've got to be mobile, and I'll explain why. That's the hole I knocked at the end of the garage. I've actually sold a car, which is very un-Tim-like. I'm usually quite good at buying them, not very good at selling them, but Mark, the guy with the MX-5, he loved rallying so much, he just wants a bit more power, so it was after the compact, the green compact I was building, which I just didn't want to sell, but he's a good friend, Mark, so he's over the moon. Trouble is, to get it out, I've got to move the black compact, so I've got to pull the back end over so I can get it through this gap, and it only just fits. You can see the mirror was ripped off on the way in. And then this is the garden shed. So I've managed to move the car over to this side, so I don't have to move, I only have to move one bike. But to get it around that corner, I'm going to have to move the blue e30 as well, which hasn't been moved for a long time. So I'm going to get the black compact out, I'm going to get the rally car out, the black compact out, then that, which can have the same problem going around the corner. I have to jack the back up and move it over, and then try and maneuver this out. So I put the steering on. It should be quite light because there's nothing on it. And plus the guy buying it, he said he'd come back and give me a hand to get it out. I'm sad to see it go because, you know, I spent a lot of work on that cage, and I was quite looking forward to putting it back together again. But no point having 3 rally cars. Right, so let's do some jacking and pushing and towing and tugging. Right, hello again. Everything's moved around now. The green compact's gone. So a friend of mine's bought that. Didn't really want to sell it, but it's freed up some space in the garage. So now we've got some. That's all engine compact related stuff that's going. So that's going to make a bit more space. I've got these wheels, so you put those under the wheels, and the idea is I can move the car from side to side, backwards and forwards. So I'm running out of space, so I've got some extra bits and pieces in here, but that's not going to be an issue. At least I've got plenty of room here to work on this side of the car, and then I can slide the car over on its wheels and work on the other side, or I've got plenty of room to work on the back, and then I can slide it back and work on the front. That's the idea of it. Yeah, a lot of this stuff, that's rubbish, that's got to go back to where it came from. These are the rally car shafts that I'm making at the moment, so that's more of the other car details. I didn't even charge battery, I just plugged it in, fired it up, it started straight away. I actually drove it in here. Well, let's drive it out onto the road to get the other car out, and then drove it back in here. So it purrs. It's, you know, it's a bit squeaky with the alternator belt. Could do the new one. I've got to take all this front end off because it's quite rotten. But yeah, I just thought what I need to do is get rid of any rust on it. So it's just, I started doing the other side. This side isn't as bad as the other side, and this is where I'm going to start, because if I start on the other side, I'm going to lose motivation. There's too much to do, whereas this isn't too bad. And once I've started and put time into it, it's going to be less chance that I'm going to give up and decide to scrap it, because, you know, it's 52,000 miles. It's a car. It's a shame to change it from what it is, but I've got no interest in a 323. I don't care that they're rare. It doesn't interest me. I like the M3 look. So I've got all the body kit up there. And I've got, I don't think I'll bother with the boot. I'll just leave the back end as it is. I've got the bumpers, but I'm not cutting these rear quarters off. There's no way. That's all the strength of the car. I hate it when people do that. I don't see the point. I'm just going to feather. I'll blend the new arches in like I did in the other car. All this can go black, the surround, and yeah, I'm quite looking forward to getting stuck into it. Yes, not really started yet, and we've come across my first snag, which is quite a serious one, because I thought for a bit of inspiration I would just stick the panels on the side of the car. Obviously they're going to be cut down and going a lot further than that. The issue I have is this looks like a wide-bodied M3 body kit. There's going to need, on a standard M3, I think you need about 10mm to come out to fill the arches with the wheels. This is about 40mm, which can be done with the 46 bottom arms at the front. The back, I'll have to get these on a bit better, fix them where they're supposed to be, put some screws in it, and then see, because at the moment this needs to go over quite a bit. It's just wedged in there, so it might not be as bad as it initially looks. I didn't want the wide arched body. I bought it second hand. Right, I need to trim the back, take the aerial off, that's stopping it from going on, and then push it in a bit further. I'll put a couple of screws in it and then reassess and see what we think. We might be going IS, but it's got the wrong rear lights for that. It's got the right rear lights for the M3 kit. Or we could stay 323, but that's not what I wanted. I wanted an M3 lookalike, because I love the arches, and that doesn't look too bad from here. That front one just looks like it's too wide. So I'll stick it on. I'll stick it on properly. If I put this in roughly the right place, it needs to go in further. And then it's been sitting around that wing on with the rest of the panels. Who knows? It could have had stuff on it. It could be stuck out. It might just need a bit of bending back in. Right, let's not write it off until we've put it on properly. Right, I've cut the rear quarter down. I've sort of screwed it on with these self-drilling screws. Yeah, it's not looking too bad. I'm liking it more than I thought I would. I've had to manipulate it a bit and get it make it a bit narrower, because obviously it's quite flexible. So the bits I've had to cut off the corners, but what I'll do is I'll sand this down with the grinder to feather it in and take notches out that to make the levels closer, and I'll just fill this with fiberglass. That's what I did in the other one. This obviously can go in a lot closer. Yeah, these points here are where it's pushing it out, so once I feather these in, that'll make it go a lot closer. And the idea is I might have to chop this down a little bit more, so I'm going to rivet it on, so I'll have lots of rivets. They'll probably be every 50mm or 40mm. countersunk rivets, use aluminium rivets, and feather this in so it'll be quite close to the edge, and then just where the corner is, I can just build it up with fiberglass onto it, sand it all down. Obviously bits like that will all be pushed in. The rear bumper, I mean, it came out to about here. It was much wider, but because I've pushed the panel in, I've had to bend the bumper around a bit more. Yeah, the exhaust isn't going to stay like that anyway. If we look at the other side, I mean, it is being pushed out by the arch a bit, but it was sticking out a lot further than it is. So basically, I think it looks all right. The bumper's a bit weird at the bottom, but yeah, I could put a little mud flap on that and take your eye off it. So I've put, there's no space from that, that's just, it's a wider wheel than the one that was on it. The one that was on it was a basket weave, which I quite like, but I'm just trying it to see what it looks like with a bit more offset on it. I don't know how much more offset these have got, but I could always put spacers on the basket weaves back on. We've got a bit of a height issue. It is massively high off the ground. So I think I didn't intend to do all this to the car. I just wanted to stick a wing on and get a bit of enthusiasm for it. But yeah, now I know it all is going to fit, and it's going to, you know, look half decent when it's all filled and primed up. I can take it all off now and get back onto cutting the rust out, because I did notice a bit more when I had the wheel off. Yeah, I mean, if you tackle each bit as it comes, then it's not a lot of work. Just do a bit at a time. So yeah, you know, I can fiddle about, and the trouble is you keep finding more and more. So I'm going to stop this video here. And then next video will probably be more on patching in the rust. I'll get the welder in here. I'll get some steel plate for the floor. Obviously a wooden shed, it's not ideal welding in here. And what I do use is fire blankets. They're brilliant. You can put them over stuff and it'll stop the molten weld from burning through things. Right, till next time.